Well, good morning, friends and the rest of you. I'm Candace Payne. I'm the chair of the Lewis and Clark County Commission. And we always start this with a salute and a pledge of allegiance. So let's get this show on the road. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, well, we have been up at the state capitol trying to influence our legislators to do good things for Lewis and Clark County. And I'm supposed to introduce everybody. Mr. Tom Rolfe, Commissioner, and
good morning,
fellow Kiwani. Good morning, Tom. Brandi Spangler will be keeping track of all of our minutes and making sure we're doing everything right. To her left is Greg McNally, and he is the head of our planning department, and he knows, I would say he knows where all the bodies are buried, but I think he knows where they're gonna be. Wouldn't that be more like planning? Andy Hunthausen is the commissioner to my immediate right. We are missing our buddy Nico, but we have Keegan Shea here as the county attorney's representative, and we have Roger Balls, who is our CAO. Welcome to all of you. We have a sign-in sheet right up there on the other side of that railing, and they want to keep track of who all is here and how their names are spelt. And if you don't do it, it makes Brandi very cranky. We don't want to have that. Okay. Mr. Balls, it appears that we have some consent action items. Would you care to present those, please?
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioners. You have 3 items to consider today. The first one is item 2A, vendor claims report for the week ending February 28, 2025. Staff recommends approval, and Marni Bentley is with us as usual for this item. Item 2B is public meeting minutes for February 4, 6, 11, and 13, 2025, and staff recommends approval of that item. Commissioners, the last item is item 2C, yearly fuel tax certification of roadway mileage. Staff recommends approval of that item, and Eric Spangenberg is with us today as well regarding that item. So, Commissioners, thank you. That's all the consent action items.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the commission regarding any of these items? I don't know. I kind of feel like Eric has made the effort to come down here, and we don't see him very often. Do you have any comments, Eric, about the fuel tax, roadway mileage? Good morning.
There we go. Now it's green. Good morning, Commissioners. No, I don't have anything to add. What you have before you is representative of approximately 1.859 miles that we added. Bulk of it was coming from the Scenic Vistas major subdivision. So,
okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, we should have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the consent action items 2A, B, and C as presented by Mr. Baltz and Mr. Spangenberg.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Do we have any further comment from the commission? Is there any public comment? And in that case, seeing none, let's move on to a vote. All in favor of approving the consent action items 2A, B, C as presented herein, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. The consent action items are approved, 3-0. Thank you. Oh, now the bid openings. Casey, there he is. Okay.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Casey Hayes, Purchasing Officer for Lewis and Clark County. Today, we are going to be opening up one bid for the Rimini Water Distribution Services invitation for bid. There's some background information regarding this, and in order to, I think, fully satisfy your curiosities, we're going to bring up Beth Norberg, who is the Environmental Program Supervisor for Lewis and Clark Public Health, to provide that information.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Beth Norberg, I'm the Environmental Program Supervisor at Lewis and Clark Public Health. And yes, we have a cooperative agreement with the Environmental Protection Agency. And one of those items is to provide potable water to the residents in the upper 10-mile mining complex area. That encompasses essentially the entire town of Rimini. And so we have been doing water delivery for a number of years now. Well, a lot of work has been done up there, but one of those deliverables that we have in our cooperative agreement with the EPA is to deliver potable water, because the groundwater up there is not of good quality to be drinking. So the wells are largely used up there for irrigation and not for drinking water. So water's delivered up there currently right now, every other Monday. People put their jugs, whatever empty jugs they have, they put them on their doorstep. The water delivery service comes and replaces jug for jug, and then they do that every 2 weeks. And so we've been doing that for a number of years. Probably, I believe, probably somewhere in the area of 2008, 2009, we started delivering water up there. So, and I'm here for any questions about that. And I failed to mention, I apologize, the upper 10 mile is an EPA Superfund site. So it's one of our federal Superfund sites we have here in Lewis and Clark County.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, so, because this is a world famous mining site that we all live in, are some of the materials that appear in the drinking water, could you kind of talk about what kind of stuff that would be?
Yeah, largely arsenic, cadmium. Those are the ones of most concern. And so those all have health effects beyond, their maximum contaminant limits. So we just want to make sure that for the protection of those residents up there, they're not drinking that water from those historic mining activities.
If they are watering their gardens with the polluted water, doesn't that get into the food they're growing?
Well, yes, Madam Chair. Obviously, we don't want irrigation in terms of their gardens and that to be happening. And it all depends on the levels that are, each water supply, they can sample their well and look at their backgrounds and determine, is that something that I can put in my garden, or is it just good for my yard, to water my yard? So.
Okay.
But potable water is very different from irrigation water. Ingesting water directly is going to be quite a difference than watering your yard.
I think it is amazing how we take water for granted. And you turn on the faucet, the water comes out. That's all there is to it. I had the opportunity to live in a town where the water, you had to haul it. What a shock. Well, anyway. Okay. And this is a bid opening.
Yes.
So, and you want to continue with the bid opening.
And I will let Casey do that since he is the expert of all those things.
He's the expert on the money. You do water, he does money. Okay.
Thank you. And just to add to this, I guess the reason why we're doing this now rather than having done it in the past, we renewed the cooperative agreement with the Environmental Protection Agency, and the EPA requires that we go to bid for these services. So that's why we're now conducting a bid rather than invoiced contracts. So with that, we have one bid received here today. It should be noted that because we're doing this along with the federal guidelines, there may or may not be a disclosure included inside of the bid. The disclosure would be necessary if the bidder had a financial or business relationship with any or all potential responsible parties. The potential and responsible party identified in the solicitation is the EPA, and so they would need to disclose that if that in fact were the case. So, given that. Our bid, the sole bid today comes from Big Spring Water of Bozeman, Montana. It appears they are an affiliate of Learkines. Let's see then, going through here. They indicate no disclosure is applicable. They acknowledge the addendum that was issued. We have sufficient bid security. The bid is signed and notarized. And the total bid amount is $25,935. And so given that, commissioners, we'd like to review bids and then return on March 6th for potential award.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the commission? Any questions? Is there any public comment? Nope. Well, I think we need a motion to, do we postpone or do we?
Chair Payne, I'd move that we ask staff to take the bid under advisement and make a recommendation to this commission on the 6th of March at a regular scheduled meeting.
Second.
This is, I love people who have experience. So thank you. We've got a motion. We've got a second. All in favor of allowing Eric and his group to take a better look at this and come back on March the 6th. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Eric. Uh-oh. The legal brand is leaving. We may be in trouble. Audra. Number 4 on our agenda this morning is a bid opening for Highway 435 crack, chip, and paint presented by Audra. Zacherl, please proceed.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioners. I'm Audra Zacherl, Assistant Director of Public Works. This morning, we have a bid opening for the Highway 435 crack seal, chip seal, and paint project, which generally consists of crack sealing, chip sealing, and paint striping 10.1 miles of Highway 435 from the intersection of Highway 287 near Augusta, Montana. This construction work will also include paint striping on Sun Canyon Road from Highway 287 to the Lewis and Clark County Transfer Station, and on Benchmark Road from Highway 435 to Broadway Street in Augusta, also in Lewis and Clark County. This morning, we have 4 bids to open. Okay, the first bid I'm going to open is from Helena Sand and Gravel of Helena, Montana. Okay, the bid security appears to be included. The addendum has been acknowledged. The bid appears to be complete. The base bid, which is the unit price for all work, is $534,420.75. Okay, this second bid that I will be opening is from United Materials of Great Falls Incorporated. Okay, the bid security is included. The addendum has been acknowledged. The bid document appears to be fully complete. The base bid amount for the extended price for all unit work is $638,463.25. The third bid that I will be opening this morning is from Bullock Contracting LLC of Boulder, Montana. Okay, the bid security has been included. The addendum has been acknowledged. The bid appears to be fully complete. The base bid amount, which is the extended price for all unit work, is $549,454.10. Okay, the final bid that I will be opening this morning is from Chris Wall out of Columbia Falls, Montana. Okay, this bid has been submitted by Pavement Maintenance Services Incorporated, the contact person as Chris Wall. The bid security has been included. The addendum has been acknowledged. The bid appears to be fully complete. The base bid amount, which is for the extended price for all unit work, is $589,697.97. Staff would like to take these four bids under advisement and come back in front of the board on Thursday, March 13th with a recommendation for award.
Thank you, Audra. Any comments or questions? We have a motion.
Madam Chair, yes, I would move that we ask staff to take these bids under advisement, make a recommendation to the commission at our March 13th regular scheduled meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we allow the department to take a look at this and bring it back in front of the commission for final dispensation on March 13th at our regular meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Passes on a 3-0 vote. Thank you, Audra.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're not done. Okay. Agenda item number 5, bid opening for the Murray MAU replacement.
Thank you, Chair Payne. Commissioners, again, for the record, I'm Audra Zacherl, Assistant Director of Public Works. This morning, we have one bid to open to replace the makeup air unit for the Murray building. This first bid that I will be opening, the first and only bid, is from Sleeping Giant Mechanical Incorporated. Sleeping Giant Mechanical Incorporated is out of Boulder, Montana. The bid security has been included. The bid appears to be fully complete. The base bid amount, which is for the project as shown in the drawings and specifications, less the balancing of the outlets from the unit within the building. Only the inlets and outlets of the unit will be balanced. That bid amount is $175,976. We have an additive alternate on this project. That additive alternate is to balance to the scheduled values and all associated outlets within the building, including both GRDs and duct connections to individual fan coils. That additional amount, if it's recommended to add, is $14,102. The earliest possible start date is July of 2025. The number of construction days would be 60. Staff would like to take this bid under advisement and come back to the Board of County Commissioners for a recommendation for award on Thursday, March 13th.
I have a question, Audra, regarding the difference between the original bid amount. What does, and I'm sure everybody knows this but me, but the extra 14,000, what in the heck are they, what does that get us? Can you explain that for me?
Thank you, Chair, for that question. In situations where we're not sure how much a project is going to come in, we will do a base bid of kind of the bare bones that we absolutely need. And then we'll build on that with items that we would really like to have to make our lives easier. And that is what this additive alternate is. So the base bid amount is that they're only going to balance the new unit at 2 points. And the additive alternate is that they're going to go inside the building and balance the new unit from all of the venting and inlets and outlets.
Thank you. That really helps. Any further questions from the commission?
No.
Can we have, Andy, is there something?
No, I'll
Oh.
have a comment, I said.
Okay, let's have a motion, please.
Public comment, maybe?
Oh, yep, gotta have public comment. Is there any public comment on this issue? All right, seeing none.
Chair Payne, I would move to ask staff to take a look at the one bid on this particular item and return to us with a recommendation on March 13th.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we allow the hardworking people down in Audra's department to take a look at this bid and come back to us on March 13th to make a final decision. Let's see. Got
Chair
them.
Payne.
Motion? Do we know, comment, commission, further comments?
Just a quick comment. We do this occasionally where we have a bid opening. So it's take the opportunity to explain to the public and those that might be in the audience
And
today,
the
those that
chair.
are watching. Excuse me?
And the chair.
And the
She's
chair.
easily confused.
That we open all of our bids in a public setting so that the public has an opportunity to not only weigh in, but witness the transparency and see that we don't just give an award for a project to somebody that we know or a construction company down the street. We have the bids open. We have specific specifications. We ask for those to be met in a bid process. We open the bids in public, and then we don't make a decision right away because, as Audra was just the latest example there was doing, she was just glancing through the documents and saying, it looks like everything's here. We'd like to really take a deep dive into these bids, make sure that they meet all of our expectations and bid specs, as well as the rules and regulations that are out there from everything from state law down to county policy, and then bring back a recommendation to the commission. So we take our time with these and we do it all in a public environment, in a public setting. So I just wanted to explain that, Chair Payne. Thank you.
And thank you, Andy. I know some people just, they know this is the way it happens, but I need an explanation. So thank you for providing that. Tom, do you have any comments?
Just maybe to add briefly, it's just such a great process that the county has to make these things very open. Bids are sealed, either mailed or dropped off. They're not opened until we get here. So there's less opportunity for collusion.
I suppose if my brother put in a bid, that would be looked at askance, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a very open process, and I think it's handled up to try to avoid any potential conflict of interest and for us to get the products we need for the county.
It has been moved and seconded that we allow the department to take a closer look at the bid and come back to us on March 13th to make the final decision on this. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Passes 3-1, or 3-0. Item number 6, Resolution 2025-14, organizing the Helena Valley Mosquito District Board, to be presented by Christian Lehnert. Welcome, Christian.
Good morning, Chair Payne. Good morning, Commissioners. Before you this morning for your consideration is Resolution 2025-14 to organize the Helena Valley Mosquito District. The Helena Valley Mosquito District was established by Lewis and Clark County Board of County Commissioners through adoption of Resolution number 1976-17 and later through Resolution 1976-21 to annex additional lands into the district. Resolution number 2011-191 was adopted by the Lewis and Clark County Board of County Commissioners, setting a standard policy in board and committee appointments. And MCA 7-1-201 requires the Board of County Commissioners to adopt resolutions that contain specific information to organize certain boards. Given the history of the district, adoption of Resolution 2025-14 serves to update and organize all prior and current resolution revisions for the district. The resolutions will also serve as a guideline for the district bylaws. This resolution was presented, reviewed, and approved unanimously, on the February 6, 2025 joint mosquito board meeting by Lewis and Clark County Helena Valley Mosquito Board. Staff recommends approval of Resolution 2025-14 to organize the Helena Valley Mosquito District Board.
Do we have any questions from the commission? Andy?
Chair Payne, just to comment if I could. And,
Certainly.
I represent the commission on the Mosquito District Board at this time. And as Mr. Lehnert said, the board unanimously supported updating these documents and moving forward and recommending to the commission that we approve this resolution. And all is well. I think it is a process that needed to be done. The updates now and then to make sure that we're current with all of the statutes and regulations and policies of the county and the state. So it's just that, and I recommend that we move forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Tom, do you have?
No,
Okay,
no other question.
Christian, could you go through the resolution and identify what are the changes?
Well,
Or do you-
I do have a little expert or thing here to talk about the mosquito districts. So mosquito districts, 722-24 statutes were repealed in 2009 legislative session, along with other sections of statutes regarding many other specialized districts such as roads districts, parks districts, etc. It can be assumed it was intended at the time that mosquito districts and other repealed districts would be captured under the broader definition of the districts covered under 71110. I believe those are all MCA codes. However, the repeal of these statutes without a clear process of how counties should proceed, administrate of existing districts left some challenges and confusions for how best to move forward. This issue was recognized by legislature in 2019. Statute 711-1004 was passed to essentially grandfather those districts into existence prior to the repeal. The statutes that the districts were existing prior to the repeal of those existing specifically on July 1st, 2009, remain subject to provisions of the statutes under which they were created. Basically, the Mosquito Control District and Lewis and Clark County provisions of the statutes under which were created, because the mosquito control districts in Lewis and Clark County were created through those repealed statutes and in existence before July 1st, 2009. This means we must look at the MCA from 2007 for the statutes to administer these districts. So in essence, they had statute that guided these, they repealed it. And then in 2019, they grandfathered them back in. And so we're just trying to get everything back under organization. And it's the fun part about government.
Yes. And, there's an old saying about Montana legislature comes to town every 2 years for 90 days. And there are some people who think it would be better if they came to town for 2 days every 90 years, because meanwhile, we're trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with this stuff. Not that I would complain or cast aspersions upon our legislature. Christian, thank you for explaining this to me. It really is very helpful. Okay, so. Do we have any public comment? Okay, not seeing no public comment. Do we have a motion?
Chair Payne, I'd move that we approve resolution 2025-14 as presented by Mr. Lehnert.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 2025-14 as presented by Christian Lehnert. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 3-0. On to agenda item number 7. We need to approve the Helena Valley Mosquito District bylaw update. Christian, tell us all about this.
Again, good morning, Chair Payne. My name's Christian Lehnert, Public Works. Again, before you this morning are the most recent Lewis and Clark County Helena Valley Mosquito District bylaws. The Helena Valley Mosquito District was originally formed in 1976 and the prior bylaws were most recently adopted, on June 6, 2013. Bylaws are used to establish the board's internal management by setting out the rules and responsibilities for shareholders, directors, and officers. The bylaws followed the district's organization resolution and set the rules for meetings, specify voting procedures, and establish officer positions and responsibilities. These bylaws support Resolution 2025-14, organizing the Helena Valley Mosquito District Board, and have been reviewed and were adopted by the Lewis and Clark County Helena Valley Mosquito District Board at the February 6, 2025 joint board meeting. Staff recommends approval of the updated Helena Valley Mosquito District bylaws as presented.
Are there any questions from the commission?
Just,
Tom?
I'm assuming everything's been reviewed by our legal staff and if, make sure that we're complying with all the changing laws.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Rolfe, that's correct.
Can you, any particular changes that we should be aware of in this?
Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe, I don't believe so. Most of this stuff was just to get everything to match so that you don't have bylaws that aren't matching the resolutions. There were no big changes to this, and just really to bring it up to the 21st century, I guess like one of the big things is taking minutes with the recorder instead of handwriting them out,
Sure.
kind of thing. So that would be like one of the bigger things that was changed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything, Andy? Is there any public comment? Public's kind of sleeping in this morning. Seeing no public comment, can we have a motion, please?
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the Helena Valley Mosquito District bylaw update as explained by Christian Lehnert.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the Helena Valley Mosquito District bylaw update as presented by Christian Lehnert. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say same sign. Motion passes on a 3-0 vote. Thank you, Christian. The rest of the story. Item number 8 on our agenda is a resolution 2025-15 organizing the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District Board, and will be explained by Christian Lehnert.
Chair Payne, Christian Lehnert again, Public Works. Before you this morning for your consideration is Resolution 2025-15 to organize the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District Board. The Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District was established by Lewis and Clark County Board of County Commissioners through adoption of Resolution number 1983-46. The resolution number 2011-191 was adopted by the Lewis and Clark County Board of County Commissioners, setting a standard policy on board and committee appointments. And MCA 7-1-201 requires the Board of County Commissioners to adopt resolutions that contain specific information to organize certain boards. Given the history of the district, adoption of Resolution 2025-15 serves to update and organize all prior and current resolution revisions for the district. The resolution also serves as a guideline for the district bylaws. This resolution was presented, reviewed, and approved unanimously at the February 6th, 2025 joint board meeting by Lewis and Clark County Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District. Staff recommends approval of Resolution 2025-15 to organize the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District Board.
Are there any questions from the commission? I have a question. why do we need two separate mosquito districts? Can you explain why we need the one that we just passed for the Helena Valley and now this one for the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District? Why can't we just have a mosquito district for both or for the whole county? Could you give me a little detail on that?
Chair Payne, great question. So just like all the rest of our special districts, this was a group that created a special district up there that has its own board to do what they want to do, as well as with Helena Valley. So they're actually two separate special districts.
And
So
do they do different things?
They do the same thing. I would equivalent it to like having all of our road district like we do with special districts. You know, some people pay for certain things in certain areas differently than others.
Another question. So this, the mosquito districts are they taxed as like a rural improvement district? So if you're in the Craig mosquito district and they decide to take an action and spend money, it is taxed to the people who live in that district. Is that correct?
Chair Payne, yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm not paying for the mosquitoes in Craig, but I may be paying for the Helena Valley.
Chair Payne, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I think we need a motion here.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we approve Resolution 2025-15 as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-15, organizing the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District. All in favor? Oh, is there any further comment from the commission? Nope. Okay. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. And then we have to, item number 9 on our agenda is the approval of the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District bylaw update. And Mr. Lehnert will guide us through this.
Commission Chair Payne, Christian Lehnert, Public Works. Again, for you guys, before you this morning are the most recent Lewis and Clark County Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District bylaws. The Craig Wolf Creek District was originally formed in boundaries designated through Resolution 1983-46, and prior bylaws were most recently adopted on June 6, 2013. Bylaws are used to establish the board's internal management by setting out the rules and responsibilities for shareholders, directors, and officers. The bylaws follow the district's organizational resolution and set the rules for meetings, specify voting procedures, and establish officer positions and responsibilities. These bylaws support Resolution 2025-15, organizing the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District Board, and were presented, reviewed, and unanimously approved by the Lewis and Clark County Craig Wolf Creek District Board at the February 6, 2025 joint board meeting. Staff recommends approval of the updated Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District bylaws as presented.
Thank you, Christian. Is there any public? No. Does the commission have any questions for Christian regarding this?
None here.
Okay, then is there any public comment? Seeing none, I think we need a motion here, guys.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District bylaw update as explained by Christian Lehnert.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Craig Wolf Creek Mosquito District bylaw update as presented by Christian Lehnert. All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes on a 3-0 vote. Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff. Ha! Agenda item number 10 is a letter of intent for grant application to the Tracy Foundation for the Unionville Schoolhouse rehabilitation, and it will be presented by our friend Pam Attardo.
Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioners. My name is Pam Attardo. I'm the Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Helena and Lewis and Clark County.
Pam, I'm getting deaf. Could you talk louder and speak slower?
Sure.
I can't understand.
Yes, my name is Pam Attardo. I am the Historic Preservation Officer for Lewis and Clark County in the City of Helena. And this is regarding a letter of intent for a grant to the Tracy Foundation. This is the Unionville Community Collaborative, which is comprised of a number of residents of Unionville, formed a nonprofit, and they would like to partner with the county on for the final pieces of restoration on the schoolhouse. As you know, the school has received a lot of activity since 2013-15 time. We've put a lot of money into this structure through grants, our county ARPA funds. And so this grant, which would be in the amount of $40,000, would complete the structure so that it could be used it could be occupied and used by the community for community events. Let's see. So the repairs that would be made with this $40,000 would be the chimney repair, which it needs to be relined, and bricks are kind of falling out of it. It might need some brick replacement and certainly repointing. It would be restoration of the 1872 double hung windows that are in the front vestibule, which was added in 1940. What they actually did was they took historic windows from the front of the building, that when they put an addition on the front of it, and they just repurposed them in the vestibule, which made sense because they were really trying to do this on the cheap. It was done by volunteers.
It is recycling at its best.
Exactly. So it would repair those windows because right now they don't open. They've been painted shut and they don't have any weights. They don't properly operate. So the front door would also have to be repaired in order to allow it to lock better. Right now we have a hasp lock on it and we want to remove that. It's not very attractive or historic looking. They'd also like to purchase and install a period appropriate propane stove heater and an exterior propane tank that would actually be down the hill from the school, not right next to the school, and it would be buried, so it doesn't detract from the historic nature of the area. Lastly, a couple of things they'd like to do is purchase some folding tables and strip carpets to protect the historic wood floor, which is being refinished right now. Within the next few days is what I'm hearing. They were applying for cleaning supplies and furnishings for the vestibule in order to use it for events. And they'd also like to purchase a period appropriate exterior wooden sign that would be installed outside of the school. And last, print reproductions of historic Unionville photos to display on the school walls. And so to receive such funds, the county has to submit a letter of intent, and that is what I have before you. And then that starts the grant process. After that, the Tracy Foundation will invite the county to submit a grant. The grant application has been written already by a volunteer. I have looked it over and made some changes to it. So we are pretty much ready to roll. And my recommendation is that the commission approve the letter of intent to the Tracy Foundation for this grant application.
Thank you, Pam. Are there any questions from the commission?
Just a kind of a comment more than anything. Chair Payne, I really appreciated the information here in the history of the Tracy Foundation. The O'Connell family has been very generous to our community, and it was interesting to hear a little more of the history and the background of the development of the foundation. So thank you for including that in the paper.
You're welcome. I think a lot of people don't know what the Tracy Foundation is and what its history is as well.
You bet. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? I certainly appreciate those comments because I was scratching my head about, are these the photographs that are going to be on the walls of the Unionville School? That doesn't seem quite right. I'm so glad you cleared that up. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Is there any public comment? The public is not here. Seeing no public comment, I think we need to have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve sending a letter of intent for a grant application to the Tracy Foundation for the Unionville Schoolhouse rehabilitation as explained by Ms. Tardo.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the letter of intent for grant application to the Tracy Foundation for the Unionville Schoolhouse rehabilitation as presented by Pam Attardo. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All not in favor, same sign. Unanimous decision that we think it's a great idea. Thank you, Pam.
Thank
Chair
you,
Payne?
commissioners.
We didn't have opportunity for comment there for the commission, so I just,
But did I do public comment?
yes, you did
Okay,
everything
okay.
just fine. Just
Andy,
before the vote, I didn't get, I just want to thank Pam and the volunteers that have been working so hard on the Unionville School rehabilitation. The county put in a nice chunk of change through our ARPA funds and staff time and other things. But we've really asked a lot from the community as well, and they've really stepped up. And this is another opportunity that we have to get funds that are outside of those county taxpayer dollars. So good on you and good on them. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of these final results.
Yeah,
be
me
great.
too. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Yeah, it's been a real collaboration between the volunteers as well as the county.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I have a comment too. I think this kind of a program is so important to the roots we have in our community. And we have strong communities in Marysville and Augusta and Wolf Creek and people who live there. This way they get to know each other. You can trust your neighbor, or maybe your neighbor's a nut, but at least you know them. And they're not just somebody you wave to on the road. These are people you've worked with. And I'm just so happy to get to live in Lewis and Clark County where we have this kind of stuff. So thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. And I totally agree. Volunteers have said that they've gotten to know their neighbors way better through this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we approved this and I signed a letter. Next on the agenda, we have an order for an investigation for the petition to abandon roads in the Rumping addition to Marysville. Oh, there she is. Almost missed you there, Crystal. As presented by Crystal Ness.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioners. Crystal Ness, Development Services Supervisor, here with you today for another petition for a road abandonment. This one is in Marysville, one of our favorite little places in Lewis and Clark County. I'd really like to get this up. Greg's going to come help get this computer back up because I would like to.
Good, I want a map.
Chair Payne, Commissioners, Mr. McNally and I had a conversation about a map. And because this is the very infancy of what we're going to have to do relative to the petition that we've received, during my staff report for the road abandonment and a road dedication, I will have lots of maps. We will have proposed surveys. We will have hopefully a quiet title order from the court. This is actually a project in Marysville that I believe has been in the making for about the last 10 years to get everything cleaned up in the Rumping Addition, which is in northern Marysville. We have some platted right-of-ways that were platted in 1887 and the roads were never built. We currently have a road that traverses through that property that is not in an easement. Okay, so this is kind of a culmination of both the court and the neighbors and the attorneys to get this whole thing cleaned up. It's going to be actually quite a complicated survey when we finally get to it. So this is, thank you, Greg. So this is the Rumping Addition in northern Marysville. And I wanted to use, so this is actually the county's mapping website, which is one of the most wonderful things that the county has developed in quite some time. So you can see that we've got platted right-of-ways from the old plat, and we've got a road that comes through here like this. So in the parcel overlays, the last survey that I saw was some boundary line relocations that aligned all of the lots with the road, but they also had to leave all of these right-of-ways in there because they were platted in 1887 and they are actual tracts. Now, the county doesn't own them, but none of the property owners own the road land either, right? In 1887, the county actually could have right-of-way, and that's how this was platted. There's actually a 20-foot wide waterway that was platted through here, wasn't dedicated to anybody. Jenny Creek that you see comes through here. In the old map, Jenny Creek actually came down through here and across the top. I believe, because of course we've all got to make some assumptions about an 1887 plat, that at one point in time, the residents of Marysville were going to harness Jenny Creek and put it in this waterway and get it through these lots that had been platted, but that never happened. And so there's currently pending a quiet title action to do a quiet title on this part. The petition that I have is dealing with the right-of-ways, and then we'll have a dedication on an easement for the existing road as it goes through there. So right now, we're going to just order the investigation. We'll get everything put together. We'll have a staff report. Staff will make a recommendation on all of the moving targets of this particular project. But today, we just simply need to order an investigation. I would hope that that would include at least Jenny and maybe one other of her staff from Public Works, myself, and I believe it's Commissioner Hunthausen's turn to go out for a road abandonment investigation.
Yeah, I think I did the last one. I have a question, Crystal. Has anybody been paying taxes on those lots? Who do they belong to?
Chair Payne, they are not.
Oh.
They are not. They are actually separate tracts. When we talk about all of these things, of course, there's a vernacular that people assume describes these things. I've always thought of these particular roads that are not owned are rights of way, right? They're a right of way where a road was proposed to be built, and the county, actually the 1887 plat, dedicates and donates the roads to the public.
Okay, thank you.
So they dedicated it and then they donated it, right? But we all know how property ownership works. The county never has had ownership of these roads, but no one's currently paying taxes on them.
Thank you. That's I wouldn't mind going up and if Andy doesn't have time, I would go on a trip to Marysville and look this over, but I digress. So what do you want us to do here?
So Chair Payne, I need an order to order the investigation as we move forward with this wonderful project.
And is this a written order that you have
Nope.
prepared, or this is just because by golly, we told you to get out there and do it?
Yes, Chair Payne, the statute requires the commission to order an investigation. And at that point in time, the staff report will come forward with all of the facts.
This is such an interesting job. I had no idea we could do this stuff. Okay. Well, is there any public comment on this? Oh, seeing none. The commission want to comment?
No.
Guess not. Let's have a motion, boys.
Chair Payne, I'd move that we order an investigation for the petition to abandon roads in the Rumpling addition to Marysville as presented by Snez.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any further comment from
Do
the
we have to
commission?
designate a member to go with you, or is that just?
Chair Payne, commissioners, it's at your pleasure. If you want to designate someone or whoever's schedule happens to coordinate with everybody else's, I'll make sure and stay in touch. We have a joint staff meeting this afternoon with Public Works, so I'll see the availability of Public Works' schedule.
Okay. Okay. It has been moved and seconded and discussed that we order an investigation for the petition to abandon roads in the Rumping addition in Marysville. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, passes 3-0. A board appointment is agenda item number 12. Mr. Balls.
Thank you, Chair Payne. This is item number 12 on the agenda, and it is, you have the backup memo that Brandi Spangler has provided. I'll read it into the record. And Commissioners, the candidate you'll be considering meets the qualifications for consideration of this board. It's the Information Technology and Services Board. Gary Myers completed his first term as the Joint Community at Large member. He wishes to be appointed to a second term that will expire January 31, 2027. He was selected by the City of Helena for a second term. There were no other applicants. Staff recommends that the Commissioners consider the applicant for the Information Technology and Services Board to a second term that will expire January 31, 2027. Thank you, Commissioners.
Is Gary Myers in our audience? He's not. Darn, I like to know who these people are. Is there any, does the commission have any questions? Andy, is there any public comment? Nope. Okay. In that case, we need to see. Have you already done your motion?
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the appointment of Gary Myers to the Information Technology and Services Board as explained by Mr. Balls.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the appointment of Gary Myers to his second term as explained by Roger Balls. All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 3-0, we have approved of this appointment. We have come to the part of this meeting where the public comment is allowed on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Come forward.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, thanks for allowing me to speak to you today. My name is Jim Thomas. I live on Marsh Creek Road in Canyon Creek. I am the Vice Chair of the Canyon Creek Fire District Board of Trustees. I'm here today because I've recently received a copy of a letter sent to you by our chairman's personal attorney, Mr. Scott Everard. Apparently, Mr. Everard now also represents our trustee at large, Max Eskelson. Contained in this letter are numerous attacks on trustee and board treasurer Wendy Adamson. I wish to address some of those attacks. It does not surprise me that Mr. Eskelson is attacking a fellow board member instead of trying to reach out and look for compromises, consensus, and cooperation. Mr. Eskelson's modus operandi has always been to attack, whether it's board members, his neighbors, or our firefighters. I won't lower myself to that level of discourse, but instead try to provide some insights into those attacks. Trustee Treasurer Wendy Adamson is, as far as I know, our only board member with a
Excuse me,
full-time
Jim.
job.
Jim,
Yes, ma'am.
before you move on, I need to sort of get my arms around whether or not this is an appropriate topic for the county commission. All the fire districts are special districts. The county commission has no authority over them. And so we've got our legal beagles here. Could you just, is this something we should be including as public comment at the county commission meeting? Or is this outside of the realm of what we're supposed to be doing here? Guidance, legal guys, come on. Nico Hash is sneaking in.
Chair Payne and Commissioners, so I don't know what the extent of the public comment is going to be, but Chair, you're correct that the allowance for public comment at the end of any meeting is something that relates, I know it says, the statutes say within the jurisdiction, but the purpose of that is something that is within the purview and control of the board. And so again, I don't know what the public comment is that's going to be today, but it's appropriate to accept public comment if it's something that you guys can deal with or something that you address. If it's issues that don't relate to something under your control, that's not something that you would listen to in a public meeting. Again, you can't respond or you can't make a decision on anything like that. I think I'm answering your question.
Like telling my son that, by golly, he'd better put his kid into public school because I, the grandmother, don't approve of the way he's educating his kids. And my son said, you know, Mom, it's none of your business. You have no control over this. And so I've been dealing with this. So I'm kind of up to date on there's things I can fix and things I can't fix. And we have been aware of and concerned about our friends in Canyon Creek. But it's kind of like disciplining somebody else's kids. We can't do anything. This is not the way the law is intended. And I believe you have, the board has been in touch with the county attorney's office and tried to get guidance from there. And so unless you're going to say, okay, county commission, we want you to fix the road in front of the fire hall, we could probably do that. But we don't have any control over the personalities on your board or their behavior, or I'm sorry, this is up to the electorate of that district. That's why it's it's a board not under, we don't have anything to say about it. The people who live in that district vote on their issues and decide how they will proceed. I don't live in that district. I don't think these guys live in that district, and I feel very sorry. I understand the position of both sides. I've got friends on both sides, but I don't think this is within the realm of the decision-making or power of the Lewis and Clark County Commission. And do you have any thoughts on this, fellow commissioners?
Madam Chair, I don't disagree with you and don't disagree with our council, of course. I tend to be one that is open to whatever the public wants to present, they can present, whether we have authority or not. We're likely just to listen and say thank you for your public comment. So we don't know exactly what's going to come. We've heard what happened so far, but we don't know what the rest of the public comment's going to be. I tend to err on the side of say what you need to say and we'll move on. Whether we have authority to act on that, it's another question. We may not on many. There's lots of public comment that we've had over time that, you know, people are mad at their neighbor or whatever, and we don't have any authority over that or can't do anything about it. But we listened and said thank you for being here today, and that might be all that we can do.
And
So,
in response to that, Andy, I would be concerned, and the fact that we have received a letter from the bad guys, the people on the other side, that opens you folks up to thinking, oh my God, obviously the commission is going to take their side because they sent a letter. Well, no. And we are not in a position to take sides. It's outside of the scope of our jurisdiction. Is that the right word?
Chair Payne and Commissioners, I think so. Again, I don't know the extent of what the public comment's going to be. So I don't have the benefit of the proverbial crystal ball, but.
In that case, I think we should probably go ahead, allow you to say whatever you want because we've got this constitutional freedom of speech. But with the understanding to the people out in Canyon Creek, we can listen, but we can't fix it. There's other ways to do it. So with that, proceed. Thank you.
Okay. May I continue now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Ms. Adamson is currently the Director of Operations and Finance for a multi-million-dollar corporation. She donates her expertise, time, and effort to our district for free. Most citizens in Canyon Creek know how lucky we are to have her. Regarding the attack that Trustee Adamson has missed meetings, this is true. We both have. But what Trustee Eskison failed to mention was that Trustee Adamson has not missed any regularly scheduled meetings, only rescheduled special or emergency meetings. When we have had a scheduling conflict, we have asked our board chair, Rick Grady, to adjust our board meetings, even if for just a day. He's refused. He has, on the other hand, made that accommodation for Trustee Eskilson. It should also be noted that were it not for Zoom, neither Trustee Eskilson nor his wife, Ellen, who is also a trustee, would be able to attend meetings, as they are only part-time residents in Montana. They winter in Arizona, where they currently reside. There is one attack that has me scratching my head. On the third page of Mr. Everard's letter, he states in the same sentence that Trustee Adamson is late paying bills, but also that she's paying bills before getting board approval. I don't understand. Mr. Estlin states he was never presented with the redress petitions so that he could respond. At our October 7th meeting, Trustee Adamson and myself presented to our board with all members present the redress petitions. You may also recall that the redress petitions were presented to this board on October the 10th, and that in fact Trustee Eskison and Chair Grady appeared at this board's following meeting to refute the petitions. The last attack that I wish to address is Trustee Adamson's mishandling of the mail ballot written plan, for which she has taken full responsibility. In her own words, she dropped the ball. Wow, imagine that. An elected representative of the people admitting they made a mistake. Refreshing. I want to thank you. And just to clear up just something, Madam Chair, it wasn't my intent to have you actually do anything. I know that you guys got a letter, and I just want to provide input about the letter you received. That was all I was wanting to do. If that, and I should ask, if this isn't the proper venue to do something like that, I don't know if you can even answer this question. What would be the proper venue?
You should talk to your lawyers.
I don't have a lawyer. And if I did, he wouldn't be one that'd been disbarred in another state, but that's just me. All right, thank you.
As a personal comment in response to your words, we got the letter and I read it and I thought, what in the heck am I supposed to do with this? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, we have another comment coming up, I believe. Where'd he go? There he. Hello.
Chairperson, Commissioners, support staff. I'm John Keller. I am from Canyon Creek Rural Fire District. I live on Marsh Creek Road. Could you tell me if the redress is under your purview, the Commissioner's purview? Otherwise, I will stand down.
I don't think we have any authority over fire districts. They are separate districts provided under the Montana Code annotated in a separate chapter.
But
Sorry,
Again,
Andy is the historic person on our board.
But
Even though he's the
the
youngest.
redress is fairly new.
Well,
So
And again, I'll just say that typically we take public comment, thank people. If we can answer a question, we may do that. But in this case, since we're doing that, I'd just say that I think, and Mr. Shea can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our role in the redress was only to accept the petition, and then it is passed on to the county attorney's office, and the county attorney's office, the statute guides them on what they do and how they do it, and the commission's role is done. We have no further role in the redress process.
then, Chairperson, I will withdraw my public comment based on the statutes of the state. Thank you so much for serving us.
Thank you.
thank you. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, I think we can adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for coming.